During his election campaign in 2016, Donald Trump vehemently criticized the Barack Obama administration for a nuclear deal with Iran in lieu of easing economic sanctions on the country. A week after entering the White House in January 2017, Trump issued an executive order that banned entry of Iranian citizens into the U.S. in the name of protecting the nation from foreign terrorists. Under the 2015 nuclear deal, the U.S. administration was required to certify every 90 days that Iran was complying with the provisions with regard to nuclear program. Trump administration issued the certificate in April 2017, but Trump was building a context to pull out of the nuclear deal with Iran, as was clear from his address in the UN in September 2017. In May 2018, Trump announced pulling out of the nuclear deal. Wednesday is the first anniversary of the announcement. Inflection point: 3 days ahead of the anniversary, the U.S. made a surprise announcement to deploy an aircraft carrier, USS Abraham Lincoln, and a bomber in the Persian Gulf that separates Iran from Saudi Arabia and the UAE. The U.S. attributed the decision to up the ante against Iran to a number of troubling and escalatory indications and warnings, which John Bolton, the national security advisor in the Trump administration, did not elaborate while briefing the media on Sunday night in Washington, D.C. The United States is not seeking war with the Iranian regime, but we are fully prepared to respond to any attack, whether by proxy, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, or regular Iranian forces, said Bolton. Iranian President Hassan Rouhani is expected to announce his countermeasures on Wednesday, coinciding with the anniversary of Trump's decision to withdraw from the six-nation nuclear deal with Iran. Trump and tension with Iran. Tension between the U.S. and Iran has been escalating since Trump came to power. The deployment of USS Abraham Lincoln followed a series of developments in recent weeks. In April, Trump administration declared the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, an elite force of Iran, a terrorist organization. The decision by President Trump came in the view of strong opposition from Pentagon, the defense establishment of the U.S. The top defense officials of the U.S. warned Trump that the move could lead to retaliation by Iran or Shia groups backed by Iran against the U.S. forces or their allies in the Arab Peninsula. But Trump overruled their objection. Iran responded by declaring the U.S. forces present in West Asia as terrorist organization. It came as a reminder from the 1970s when Iran was heading towards an Islamic revolution and the Jimmy Carter administration of the U.S. supported the Shah regime in Tehran. Ayatollah Khamenei, leader of the Islamic Revolution, had declared the U.S. as the Great Satan. Turning the clock back following the Islamic Revolution, the U.S.-Iran relation could not become friendly again. In 1988, the two countries engaged in a short military conflict when Ronald Reagan was the U.S. president. Iran achieved limited success as it managed to damage USS Samuel B. Roberts, a guided missile frigate. The U.S. responded by shooting down a commercial flight, killing 290 people including many children. Hostilities between the U.S. and Iran took a backseat during the U.S.-Iraq War of early 1990s before resuming with the U.S. Congress passing fresh sanctions on the country in 1996, when Bill Clinton was the U.S. president. Iran responded by targeting the U.S. military camp in Saudi Arabia, which, fearing military escalation, pressed for vacating its territory. Aggression continued between the two sides through the Bush years when the U.S. president theorized axis of evil, clubbing Iran, Iraq and North Korea together as enemy nations. A shift in the policy was visible with Barack Obama, who ensured a nuclear deal under which Iran was to desist from military use of atomic power and the U.S. was to ease economic sanctions. Final build-up under Trump. Economic sanctions have been ratcheting. Iranian economy is under tremendous pressure. Inflation has gone past 40%, causing lots of hardship to the people. The Rouhani government, however, is not ready to buckle down under pressure from the U.S. Oil exports to select countries have kept Iranian economy afloat. India has been a major oil importer from Iran and thus a big factor in the country's economic well-being despite sanctions. The U.S., on the other hand, has been pushing for zero oil export from Iran. Reports suggest that the recent UN decision to designate Masood Azhar a global terrorist, which happened after a lot of to and fro between India, the US and China, came with a rider from the Trump administration. Trump wants India to completely stop import of oil from Iran to return the favor for getting designation for Masood Azhar, the Jaish-e-Mohammed chief, who is responsible for a series of terror attacks in India. The US has more than 5,000 troops in Iraq and around 2,000 soldiers in Syria. Given that Iran has shown a tendency of escalating the military cost for the US, the deployment of a warship in Persian Gulf indicates that Trump might just be ready for yet another American war in the Middle East.